So I want to start off this video with a brief disclaimer where I want to specify that firstly, this is just my opinion and I do not wish for this to discourage anybody from pulling for Fu Xuan. Fu Xuan genuinely I think will be a great character, however I do see a few flaws depending on which characters you own and how willing you are to invest in her. As many of you all know by now, Fu Xuan's kit is designed on damage mitigation as opposed to shielding for protection. In her case, I feel that this is both incredible, like it is a massive way to keep healers relevant while still making sure that your damage gets reduced. Because not only is she reducing the damage that allies take by a certain percentage, she's also taking damage herself instead of the ally that's being hit, which means that you're getting essentially two different ways in which the damage gets mitigated. And you know, that sounds like really good on paper, and add that to the fact that her skill increases crit rate and max HP, which is essentially giving you a pseudo heal. She does seem like she's gonna be an amazing character. So why in particular am I saying that she might have a flaw? My main problem for this argument comes in exactly the fact that she performs damage mitigation. And I know that that might feel very weird for me to say, because isn't taking less damage better? While you are right on that, it feels odd. Let me explain. I feel like more often than not, this forces you to run either Fu Xuan and Gepard, because Gepard's shield is so big that the damage mitigation might make it so that you do not need a healer, which I think is really good. Or you're bound to use a healer, which is really smart given the fact that Lynx is arriving with Fu Xuan, and Lynx might just be like the greatest character to pair her with, solely because of the fact that you get to be able to remove debuffs on your characters. And I think that's incredibly useful. Nonetheless, I feel that's where the limitation starts to appear, where as opposed to Gepard being another 5-star preservation character, you don't always need a healer to pair up with Gepard. Gepard can sometimes on his own heal the entire party, and because he has this a passive that he's gonna get targeted more often than not, and he has huge defenses, he can end up charging his barrier very quickly again, and then make sure that nobody takes damage. On top of that, Gepard has the ability to, freeze an enemy, which is absolutely beautiful and I adore. And I will admit also, I have my own bias with Gepard. Gepard was the first 5-star I got. He's been the one that scared me through the game. And they even mentioned how I adore the fact that I have him for the Storm Disaster expansion. Genuinely my lifesaver. So it's also hard for me to give an unbiased decision. This is like a different perspective, right? But that's why I low-key feel that Fu Xuan has been given a restriction upon her. Again, I know it's not how it'll always work, but at the end of the day, it still means that you're taking damage. So at some point, you do 100% need a healer, which is something that does bug me personally a little bit. Couple that with the fact that I do not read this game, and this is just a minor rant from my end, is how I thought that there could be a world where Fu Xuan and Blade would work really well together. Because one of the main issues I had when trying Blade, I don't have Blade, but I borrowed my girlfriend's Blade over and over again, was that if I brought Gepard, if I brought a shield character, I was losing a big part of Blade's kit. Since Blade is built on health, I know that he's meant to be tanky and take damage. What I didn't read initially until I think it was 4 or 5 weeks after Blade had come out, is that Blade has a counter that keeps track of how much damage he's taken. So the more damage he takes, the more damage he will deal back with, I believe, his ultimate. However, Fu Xuan prevents that. Fu Xuan keeps him healthier, but at the same time, this healthiness causes him to do less damage, and therefore it kind of confuses the kid. Additionally, I also felt bad because I've been trying to build Yanqing as of recently, and I've been investing some of my extra resources on him since I've been farming a lot of hunt for Fu Xuan, Sila, pre-farming for Topaz. I was just like, you know what, I have a lot of hunt materials, so I might as well also use a little bit of resources on Yanqing. I have Japard as well, which is the best character to couple up with Yanqing, but I cannot do that with Fu Xuan. Because even though, yes, she's gonna mitigate the damage on Yanqing, he's still going to take damage, meaning he's still going to lose his Soul Steal passive buff, whatever the hell it was called. But yeah, that little passive, which is like if he didn't get hit, he's gonna do more damage, or I think his crit rate increases. It essentially is just, yeah, like he will do more damage. It's gonna get denied, always. And Fu Xuan cannot protect him from these issues, which, again, a little bit of a problem with certain characters. Mind you, I do believe she's gonna be absolutely busted with the fact that you can couple them up with a healer, a hunt character, and a harmony character. Like, go off, you're gonna do so much damage. Even then, maybe you can go for you have to have an abundance character, like 99% of the time. And then, I don't know, a destruction character that isn't Blade, like Lune, or a Nihility character. Honestly, Nihility characters also do a lot of damage, so if y'all haven't invested much in those characters, I would highly suggest that. Pela does like insane amounts of damage, more than I would have expected. She's genuinely a character that helps clear Memory of Chaos decently reliably. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Fu Xuan definitely has huge potential, especially in solo quantum. If you have a Silver Wolf, you are thriving if you get Fu Xuan, especially if you get like a nice amount of constellations on Lynx, since Lynx is gonna be able to remove debuffs. And then heck, you can just have Sila or Qingque depending on whether the enemy is Wan or Manny, and you have like the perfect quantum team in my opinion. I know that people are running like, oh, mono fire, mono imaginary, teams like that, but mono quantum, because Silverwolf is quantum, I feel it just has the universality to beat almost anything, which I kind of would suggest against it, personally. This is, again, my personal view. Don't feel discouraged on that. And you can have fun doing this, mind you. I'm not trying to say you can't. But I feel that if I just go with a cookie cutter team that is always going to be Silverwolf, Lynx, Fu Xuan, and insert final damage character of Quantum like Sila or Qingque, I feel like I would start getting a little bit bored by only running that team and trying to beat everything with that team, as opposed to do what to me is fun and big brain and start thinking and trying to think of like many strategies of like, oh, how do, for example, I struggled to beat the Maleficent Ape. I don't remember the name, the little monkey that just, if you use a skill, he gets angry at you. That little guy. I say little when he's huge, but yeah, like, you know, that guy. I struggle sometimes to beat him, and I want to find more effective ways to beat him. That's also why I'm building Yanqing, because I feel like I'm gonna be able to beat him more reliably this way. Because I've tried using Asta because of the fire weakness, but I kind of suffer. I've somewhat successfully used sampo Kafka, and that works, but I don't feel that works like the best. So I don't know. I want to have these moments of, I want to figure out how I can most effectively beat certain enemies, but I don't want to look it up because I'm stubborn. I want to be able to just I want to be able to just run into this wall as many times as possible until I eventually crack the code, which is, I know, not the most effective and very counterintuitive to what I'm saying of I want to think until I figure it out, but I don't know, that's just the way that I've enjoyed playing. And if y'all have fun with Fu Xuan, go for it. I genuinely hope that you can get them within like your first 20 pulls, and yeah, I really hope that all goes absolutely great for anybody that's trying to get her. This has been my own little rant, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your days, depending on what time you're watching this. So yeah, if you like this kind of content where it's just, again, like me ranting and just speaking my mind out and like weird different concepts, be sure to drop a like. Comment down below if you can with whether you like disagree with me, you agree with me, or what different take you have from me. Like maybe you think that Fu Xuan's gonna be like turbo busted no matter what, so I would love to know like y'all's opinions. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye bye.